So I know it's been a major trend as of late to dog on Netflix for its lack of consistency with animation shows. For example, we all love the show known as Inside Job, and Netflix renewed it for season 2, but immediately later canceled it, saying that we are in fact now getting season 2. In fact, for one of my favorite shows on Netflix, Arcane, I have heard little to no news about Arcane and what's going on. So a lot of people who are subscribed to Netflix are very scared for the future of animation at Netflix. And due to the fact that all of our favorites, good, high quality animation shows have been getting canceled all over Hollywood from different streaming services, from Hulu to Netflix, people have a lot of hate towards one of these animation shows that has stood the test of time, and that has to be Big Mouth. A lot of people say that Big Mouth is ugly, raunchy, gross, disgusting, and they don't understand why Netflix is choosing to let this show get season after season when a lot of the shows that we do like gets canceled. But in today's video, I am going to talk about the spin-off of Big Mouth known as Human Resources, and talk about why I feel like this show should be getting a lot more love from the people who hate Big Mouth. So if you're interested in that, keep on watching. Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to Ella Pastoro. If this is your first time coming upon this channel right here, typically I make videos relating to my favorite books, movies, and TV shows. And today I'm doing something different, and I pulled out this Y2K hat that my best friend said makes me look like a pimp. That's a story for another day. But in today's video, I really want to sing the praises of Human Resources and tell you guys that Human Resources succeeds in every way that Big Mouth fails. So before we begin, I want to tell you guys what Human Resources is. So Human Resources is Netflix's workplace comedy that shows what happens behind the scenes of the creatures that help teens navigate puberty in Big Mouth. The hilarious spin-off takes the raunchy humor that made its predecessor so popular and gives it an adult spin, often providing more laughs and wilder scenarios. And the reason why I have to say Human Resources succeeds where Big Mouth fails is because of the fact that the main characters of this show aren't the teens. A lot of people's main concerns with Big Mouth is the fact that they show puberty, the raw, honest truth behind puberty through the lens of teens. And yes, teens do deserve to see how gross and traumatic puberty is from like a good resource. But as someone who did watch a lot of the seasons of Big Mouth, it got to a point where it stopped being about puberty and it started being a weird sexual, like, it gave me the ick. It physically gave me the ick. After a while, it stopped being like the raw, honest side of puberty to being just gross out humor. So for this video, me and my friends made a long list of different reasons why we feel like Human Resources is better than Big Mouth. And the first reason that I wrote is the fact that we have such good voice acting here. So for example, right, Keke Palmer is voice acting one of the love bugs. I forgot her name, but I'll be putting pictures on the screen for you guys. And if you guys don't know, Keke Palmer has always been someone I love so much in the industry. I've watched her from Akilah and the Bee, and she even voiced Aisha on Winx Club. So once I saw they had my girl Keke Palmer on the show, I was like, oh, this show is doing a little something something. And it isn't just Keke Palmer who they have voice acting characters on this show. According to Google, they have Florence Pugh, Nicey, Nance, Betts, Miley Cyrus, Eugene Levy, and more. For this new season, they have this actress playing Hope, I believe, and I just love seeing this actress because I think she played the therapist on Never Have I Ever, and she was also like the police officer on, I believe, Scream Queen. So I just love how Netflix specifically and Human Resources keeps gathering all of my favorite actresses to voice act people. I just wanted to take a quick break from the regularly scheduled content to thank all of my Patreons who are currently subscribed to my Patreon. Thank you at Harry on a Hook, as well as Blythe and Charlie for subscribing to my Patreon. If you want to be included in my Patreon shout out, please make sure to subscribe to my Patreon. We have a lot of fun things to offer over there. And now let's get back to the regularly scheduled content. Another reason why I feel like Human Resources is a better show than Big Mouth has to be the expanded universe of monsters. So if you guys hadn't watched Big Mouth, one of the most favorite things about Big Mouth most definitely has to be the hormone monsters, what Maurice and Connie. Most definitely Connie though, because we love to see women like that. It's just so real, and I really love how we got to see more monsters in Human Resources, like the Logic Rock, the Ambition Gremlin. All these characters were so new and unique, and I also really love that every season, I know we're only on like 2 seasons right now, I would always be so interested to see which character we will get. This season we got Hope, which was nice, and we also got the Hate Division, and the Hate Division was like, I'm gonna just put a picture on the screen for you guys, and as you can see, they're dressed up as, you can see who they're dressed up as. And when I saw the designs for these characters, I was literally so shocked. But when you really think about it, it makes a lot of sense for our hate emotion to be represented by the most hateful, meanest man known to history. I purposefully love how they think about each of these characters and give them their own designs and have like a reason behind them, you know? The next reason why I feel like Human Resources is better than Big Mouth is the fact that we are focusing on these monsters instead of the teenagers slash kids in Big Mouth. For example, I know a lot of people hate Big Mouth because of the fact that it's getting pretty weird with the storylines around these kids. Like the fact that we see Jesse's, I don't know what words to use without getting demonetized, but the fact that we get to see Jesse's hoo-ha every other episode, and I think like season 5 of Big Mouth, it got to be a little too much. It got to be a little too much. And the fact that we are dealing with these monsters in Human Resources allow us to have more adult focused storylines. For example, I'm gonna just put the picture of this girl right here. In the first season, she is trying to get over her insecurity and not being a good love bug. I also really loved her really toxic relationship with the addiction demon, because it really allowed us to see how different relationships and how they unfold would be played with monsters. I don't know, you guys have to watch the show for yourselves, but it allowed it to be deep in a way Big Mouth couldn't, because Big Mouth is so focused on gross out humor that we really can't get into like hard-hitting plot lines. And like I just said, Human Resources focuses more on adult audiences, and because of this we get to see more adult plot lines. For this season, we had a disability activist, and we had to deal with her emotions ranging from hate, love, hope, and just seeing how that develops. For example, she went out on a date with her colleague, and she later found out that it wasn't actually a date. It was a meeting that she was misled about. And it was just so interesting to get that point of view, because we wouldn't have gotten to see that in Big Mouth. They would be too focused on making another masturbation joke with Nick, but because of the fact that we are in Human Resources, we get more deeper stories. I think in this season we get to see a grieving daughter deal with her abandonment issues and her tendency to neglect her relationships after her mom died, and it was just such a hard-hitting deep story that we most definitely would have never gotten from Big Mouth. I think in the first season of Human Resources, we had a storyline about the previous love bug that used to have our main character Spot, and how she literally got fired from her job because she fell in love with one of her clients. And we just got to see how toxic love can be, where the human who she was supposed to take care of ended up not eating, not sleeping, not doing anything because they were obsessed with each other. And I really feel like Human Resources does such a good job at showing the raw, honest human aspect of it, as you can see by Human Resources. In season 2, we have an autistic kid who is nonverbal, and he struggles to communicate with his mothers what he wants, and they literally have to get an ambition gremlin on their team, because for each human, everyone has a team of monsters that help them with their daily emotions, and they had to get an ambition gremlin for this nonverbal kid. That way he didn't give up in his attempts to communicate with his moms, and I really feel like that is such a unique way. I also love how this season we just got more disabled representation. The fact that we got this lady right here and we got to see her be mad problematic, I really feel like it was good and honest, and I really like this portrayal of this character right here, because I really feel like in a lot of the media we get with disabled women, they have to be virginal, pure, and make no mistakes. They practically have to be Mary Sue characters. And the fact that we got this lady who could be mad. Sometimes she did things that were like unacceptable. Like when she told the mom of the nonverbal kid that they shouldn't have high expectations for their kids because there was a high likelihood that he wouldn't meet those expectations. And literally everybody had to look at her like, what the hell? Even her own monsters had to look at her like, what the hell? And I just feel like it just gave such a raw, honest portrayal of people who are disabled, because not every disabled person is a saint. There are disabled people who do wrong, and the fact that we're able to see this in a raw, honest way, and the fact that her plotline carried out throughout the entire season also made us empathize with her, because we even see that her mom calls her to practically let her know that she's a failure in her eyes, and she didn't want that for the kid. I don't know, I really feel like Human Resources hits deep. I also have to say the comedy is better than Big Mouth. Like I said, a lot of the humor from Big Mouth just has to be like, get it, it's kids talking about their private parts. Isn't that funny? And I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. It was quaint and unique in the first 2 seasons, but after a while, how many more masturbation jokes must I hear? Please, like, please let it end. And I just feel like this show has such a deep emotional core. A plot device that they use a lot when they deal with their humans is that they go to the history, like I think it's called like the emotional history core, where they're able to see all of the memories of their humans. And the fact that they'll sometimes take their humans in there to show them the past is so quaint, because like it'll be like a couple who's having a hard time. They've lost the love bug will go and be like, you guys used to be so cute, you can rebuild that. And like I said, like I keep saying, actually, I feel like there is not that deep emotional activity on Big Mouth. So I really feel like if you guys want a show that's kind of like Inside Out but for adults, then Human Resources is a must. And I have to say that even though this show is a Big Mouth spin-off, I really feel like it is good, like objectively so, guys. The deep plot lines. I also love the musical numbers that we get here. Like I have to say the theme song of this show is really good. Like I really love it. And the fact that we get such raw, honest topics covered. I think we dealt with we call it postpartum depression. We finally got disabled representation in this season. I also feel like they had a really good trans analogy this season that I really enjoyed, with these 2 hormone monsters children and the hormone monsters, the parents having to deal with their child. I really feel like it was a good trans analogy, and I really feel like I have to sing the praises of Human Resources, because I know y'all hate Big Mouth, and I can understand why, but please give this show a chance. Like there is a reason why this show is on like the top 10 of Netflix. Like after you get over the fact that this is in the Big Mouth universe, you can see that a lot of the people behind the show put in a lot of time and effort. So please give the show a watch. At least try the first couple of episodes. I promise you won't regret it. So if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. It really helps / pushes out this video in the algorithm. If you guys had watched Human Resources, let me know. Let me know what your favorite characters are. And if you guys want to see more from me, make sure that you hit the subscription button as well as the bell notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.